to Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Greeting everyone. We are talking about Nibbāna. So previous week we talked about the meaning of Nibbāna in negative way. So today we will talk about Nibbāna in positive way. So using this is what the Richard Gombrich in his book, What the Buddha Thought. It is often said that concept of Nibbāna is negative, but of course the way that the metaphor of fire used here is indeed negative. But the same thing is sometimes expressed positively. So actually, last week we talk about Nibbāna using fire metaphor. All is burning. Our eye, the form, the consciousness, then eye contact. So everything is burning with 11 fires. So actually, using that metaphor, we explain the meaning of Nibbāna. Nibbāna simply means extinction or extinguishment of fires. So if you can extinguish 11 type of fires, that will be Nibbāna. So among 11, the most important one is Lobha Dosa Moha. So if you can extinguish Lobha Dosa Moha, that will be Nibbāna. So using fire metaphor, we explain the definition of Nibbāna. But here, so we will explain the definition of Nibbāna in positive way. Mr. Richard Gombrich said that the Sanskrit word Nibbāna means blessed. Then the related word Nibbāna means blissful. So actually these are Sanskrit words. So if I pronounce wrongly, please understand. Actually, I do not know much about Sanskrit. In Pali phonetics, these two words are Nibbūti and Nibbuddha, respectively. Here, we will use Pali word Nibbūti and Nibbuddha. So both terms can be found in many places in Pali Canon and the Suttas. Nibbūti is another name for Nibbāna. Nibbuddha is adjective. It means blissful. Nibbūti means the bliss or peace, happiness. Nibbāna, Nibbūti refer to the same thing, but have sharply contrasting meanings. Nibbāna is negative, Nibbūti is positive. But even though they talk about Nibbāna, they have a different connotations. So Nibbāna, the word Nibbāna, using fire metaphor, using negative simile. So if the fire is extinguished, that is Nibbāna. But here, Nibbūti, so here I think he explained that when the fire of passion, raga, hatred, dosa, delusion, moha, when the fire of passion, hatred and delusion die out within one, it passing, that's called Nibbāna. One experience blessed, Nibbūti. So here actually the same meaning, but contradicting meaning definition. Nibbāna, if all the fire die not within yourself, in your mind, that's Nibbāna. So when you can extinguish all type of fires in your mind, you will experience bliss. You will experience coolness in your mind. No hot. If there's no fire, you will have an experience of Nibbūti, cool and blessed and peace and happiness. So actually here, they talk about Nibbāna, the experience of an enlightened one, but Nibbāna, the definition of Nibbāna is negative, in way of negative. It explains negative way, Nibbūti, positive way. When all the fire die not within oneself, that's Nibbāna, and one will experience bliss at the time, or bliss or peace. That is Nibbūti. So later I will explain many synonyms of the Nibbāna so that you understand why the Buddha choose a lot of words to explain Nibbāna. So actually, for that reason, many scholars said that the experience of Nibbāna cannot be explained with the language. But to understand, to make it very clear, the Buddha used different terms, more than 50, even more than that. Actually, what I find out is more than 50, even more than that. Etymology of Nibbāna, the origin of Nibbāna. Even though it is suggested that the word Nibbāna is borrowed from pre-Buddhist literatures, especially Veda and Upanishads. So there is no mention of this term in either Vedas or Upanishads. So as you all know that Vedas and Upanishads are the pre-Buddhist texts. So that appear before the Buddhism. Regarding with the Vedas, they are scholars said that they are even before 1,500 years. About 1,000 years before the Buddha. So they were very early. Based on Vedas and Upanishads, Hinduism came into existence. So the word Nibbāna cannot be found in pre-Buddhist literature such as Vedas and Upanishads. For the first time, it is mentioned in the Bhagavad-gītā, which is one of the chapters of Mahabharata. These are also Hindu literatures, Hindu texts. It is generally believed that Mahabharata was written in the 4th century BC, 100 or 200 years after Buddha passing away. 100 years after Buddha passing away. So Mahabharata was written in the 4th century BC. What is reported in the Bhagavad-gītā will have existed even before the Buddha. That is mere speculations. So actually many scholars accept that the Buddha borrowed the word Nibbāna from Veda or Upanishads. But Professor Abhinayake, Oliver Abhinayake from Sri Lanka, he argued that it's not borrowed from pre-Buddhist texts. But the word Nibbāna is mentioned in Bhagavad-gītā. But Bhagavad-gītā was written down at the 4th century BC, 100 years after Buddha passing away. So that means they borrow from the Buddhist text. according to him. But I think that the word Nibbāna is very, is a general usage at the time, I think. General usage at the time. So anyway, I like what he said. There is no source which carry the word Nibbāna in the pre-Buddhistic literature. Therefore, we can simply suggest that the word Nibbāna is a Buddhistic term. It is a Buddhistic term. The Buddha didn't borrow from other religious texts. He himself used that term, the word Nibbāna. I think it's important, mostly Hinduism and Jainism that appear in India, they always use final aim as a moksha. In Pali, moksha. In Sanskrit, moksha, right? Moksha. Moksha means liberation. But of course, we also use moksha or liberation as our final goal, as in Nibbāna. But in our suttas, in Buddhism, we always use Nibbāna as a final goal. So in other religions, just like Hinduism and Jainism, they do not use their final goal, the word Nibbāna. But the Buddha used our final goal, liberation, the word Nibbāna, very often. So Buddhists also, we also use the word Nibbāna as our final goal, and that is very important. So the reason why I like his writing is that in the the story of the Buddha, the life story of the Buddha. So the word Nibbāna is I think is very important. Very important. And I will use the life story of the Buddha, why the Buddha might use the word Nibbāna when we talk about our final goal. I think the word Nibbāna is very, very meaningful. So here, the word Nibbāna, adjective form of Nibbūti is Nibbūda. Here, Nibbūti and Nibbāna are the same. Nibbāna show our final goal in negative way, using negative simile. But Nibbūti, when we attain Nibbāna, we experience the bliss and peace. That's Nibbūti. So actually they are the same. But here, Nibbūda is adjective form of Nibbūti. So Nibbūda means blissful, peaceful, cool. It can the meaning of Nibbūda is blissful, peaceful, and cool. Have been blown off or have been dying out all the fires. Find out lust, find out hatred, find out delusion, etc. Also sorrow, mental suffering, etc. All these fire dying out. Because of that, you feel blissful, peaceful, and cool feeling. So that is called Nibbūda. So the word Nibbūda is very important. When we learn the life story of the Buddha, the Buddha hear the word Nibbūda from one of the princess. This is from the commentary of Dhammapara commentary. So translated by Inji Watson Burlingame, right? Burlingame. So as you all know that Prince Siddhartha saw 4 great sights, and old man, sick man, and dead man, and ascetics. So after seeing those 4 great sights, and he feel how to say, he is looking after how to say, renouncing the palace and family. So in his final day, he went to a garden to enjoy. Yeah? But even though he went to a garden, pleasurable garden, but he couldn't enjoy. He couldn't be happy. He couldn't feel happy because he saw 4 sights. So by that time, he received a news that he got a son. Yasodhara was born a son. So his father, Sudarana, think that he will be very happy if he hear the news of a newborn child. But Prince Siddhartha is not happy. So he even said that the faster is born. So it will fatter him not to renounce the palace and family. For that reason, his son was named as a Rahula. Rahula is a fatter, right? Fatter that were born. Timing not to go away. So on that day, he came back from garden to the palace. So in the evening, as he entered the city, Kisa Gautami, the daughter of his father's sister, pronounced the following stanza. Actually, this stanza is very important. So actually, I will use a lot of text from commentaries. I think this is in this commentaries. So we will find the definition of Nibbāna, and also why. So the Buddha used the word Nibbāna. So the princess Gautami, she pronounced the following stanza because she knew that Prince Siddhartha is coming back from the garden to the palace. Actually, she left Prince Siddhartha. So by that time, even though she think that Prince Siddhartha by that time is not happy. She think that she no longer left Princess Yasodhara. He fed up with her. So he was thinking like that. And he might be looking after a new princess. That's our thinking. Then when he saw Prince Siddhartha coming back from garden, he recited this stanza. So this is a very important stanza. Blissful indeed is the mother. The blissful indeed is that father. The blissful indeed is that wife. Whose husband is such a one as he, as Prince Siddhartha. So the mother, the father, the wife were very happy for having such a great son. So actually, this is a Pali poem. This Pali poem. So she recited Pali poem. She knew that Prince Siddhartha is coming back. So when Prince Siddhartha passed her mansion, so she recited this stanza, this Pali poem. Nibbūta nuna samata, nibbūto nuna sopita, nibbūta nuna sanari yasayan iti sopati. Here, the word nibbūta. The word nibbūta is used. It's very significant. So the blissful and peaceful indeed is the mother who got such a great son. And blissful and happy indeed for a father to have such a son. The blissful and happy indeed for wife, for having such a great son, great husband. So Prince Siddhartha here, we call it is a Nibbāna Bhatta. Dawa Nibbāna. So the commentary use Dawa Nibbāna Bhatta. So Prince Siddhartha had Dawa Nibbāna. So this is a Jataka commentary which talk about the same story. So actually, Dhammapara commentary talk about just a little bit, but Jataka commentary will talk about in details. So in the Jataka commentaries, introductory part is the life story of the Buddha. The most detailed life story of the Buddha can be found in Jataka commentaries. So this is a translation from Jataka commentaries. This is my own translation because I didn't like other translations. I think that they cannot convey actual meaning. So I'm trying my best to translate for how to say, to show the real Pali text. After having heard this stanza, this Pali poem, Bodhisattva thought, this woman recited this stanza thinking that, she think that, the heart of the mother who sees such a one, like me, is peaceful and blissful. But here, peaceful and blissful, Pali is Nibbāyati. Nibbāyati. Actually, the word Nibbāyati is the verb form of Nibbāna. So they are the same. They are the same. So the heart of the mother who sees such a one like me is peaceful and blissful. And the heart of the father is peaceful and blissful, and the heart of the wife is peaceful and blissful. Nibbāyati. What is extinguished? But here, if what is extinguished? Nibbāyati. Here, extinguished. The mind will be peaceful and blissful. It occurs to the Bodhisattva whose mind is detached from defilements. But here, detached from defilement means at that particular moment, he doesn't have any defilements. Temporary, later we will use the word temporary Nibbāna. Temporary Nibbāna. So at that moment, it occurs to Bodhisattva whose mind is detached from defilements. This is a literal translation of Pali text. If the fire of lust is extinguished, the mind is peaceful and blissful. But here, Nibbute, Ragak Kemi Nibbute, Nibbutan Nama Hoti. Actually, the princess called me think that if the mother and father and the wife of Bodhisattva, by seeing him, they will be peaceful in their mind. They will feel blissful experience in their mind. But here, Bodhisattva, he think that. Actually, Bodhisattva is not a naive one, as mentioned in the commentaries. He have a lot of experience. In the Nibbāna originations, Samdha Nikāya, Nidana Sanyota, Bodhisattva, Prince Siddhartha, contemplate the nature of Nibbāna originations. Even he became the Buddha, even before he became the Buddha, he is contemplating Nibbāna originations. So by looking at all these one, Bodhisattva is not a naive one, just like mentioned in commentaries. Commentary only mentioned, right? So his father trying to conceal, cover every unpleasant sights. He just enjoying the palaces. Actually, I don't think so. He may have a lot of experience. For that reason, in many scholars said that when we study teachings of the Buddha used a lot of similes, a lot of metaphor, a lot of examples. So by looking at all these one, we can understand how the Buddha, Prince Siddhartha acquire, a lot of knowledge. But here also, now he stay Bodhisattva, Puja Buddha. He think that if the fire last is extinguished, the mind is peaceful and blissful. But here, what I want to point out here is the fire last. This is a simile, the fire simile, right? Fire simile. If there is no fire or lust in the mind, then the mind is peaceful and blissful. But here, the fire lust is extinguished. That's Nibbāna. Nibbāna. It shows Nibbāna. The mind is peaceful and blissful. That is Nibbūda. That's Nibbūda. So the word Nibbāna explains our final goal in negative way. The word Nibbūti or the word Nibbūda explains the experience of enlightened one. After attaining Nibbāna, they will have a peaceful feeling and blissful feeling, and also they were cool feeling. The word cool, Actually, in the suttas, especially in the verses, in the Pali poem, Siddhi Buddha also used. Siddhi Buddha means the one who experience cool feeling after attaining Nibbāna. Actually, in Theragatha and Therigatha, so you can find such blissful feeling. So the monks and nuns, before they die, so they experience, they share their experience. So how they attain enlightenment, attain Nibbāna, how they feel it. So they use the word Siddhi Buddha or Nibbūda. So these are a similar meaning. So after attaining Nibbāna, so that means all fires or defilements extinguished in our mind, we have a blissful feeling, cool feeling. That's Nibbūti. That's also Nibbāna. But here, Akimi, fire. If the fire of hatred, dosaki, is extinguished, the mind is peaceful and blissful. If the fire of delusion is extinguished, the mind is peaceful and blissful. The heat of defilements, such as conceit, mana, wrong view, are extinguished, the mind is peaceful and blissful. Here, if there is no defilements in our mind, we will experience Nibbūti or Nibbūda, the bliss or Nibbāna, the coolness of Nibbāna. Because we cannot experience the bliss of Nibbāna because we have a lot of defilements in our mind. The defilements are fires. Because of those fires, we feel hot, If we are agitated, very hot in our mind, right? Even the blood became hot. If there's no dosa, if there's no anger in our mind, and we feel, cool feeling. Even somebody is shouting at you. If there's no anger, your mind is peace. That is, we call it temporary Nibbāna. Temporary Nibbāna. Later we'll come to that. So actually here, it is a very rare expression in the commentaries, especially in the commentaries. So most of the commentaries define the definition of Nibbāna departure from craving. Vana sankhadaya tanaya nibbāna nipauchati. Nibbāna means departure from craving or exist from craving. That is the usual definition of most commentaries. But here in the Jataka commentaries mention, the definition of Nibbāna using fire simile. That's very rare, very, very rare. So some scholars, for that reason, they don't like the definition of commentaries. So even Mr. Gumbridge, he said that he will not find the definition of Nibbāna connected with the fire simile. But I think he overlooked these commentaries. So actually, Jataka commentary mentioned the definition of Nibbāna, the definition of Nibbūti, using fire simile. If all the fire extinguish, and we will have a blissful feeling, we will experience the bliss of Nibbāna. That's Nibbūti or Nibbūta. I think that is more than enough, I think, to know about definition of Nibbāna. If you have a negative feeling in your mind, you're very far from Nibbāna. If you have less defilements, closer to Nibbāna. Even sometimes, even you see unpleasant people and unpleasant sight. If you don't have anger in your mind, that's temporary Nibbāna. There's no fire or hatred, fire or anger in your mind. That's temporary Nibbāna. Actually, fire simile is very beautiful. For that reason, in many suttas in Pali Canon, even the Ratana Sutta, right? Nibbandi dira yatayam padipo. The wise people extinguish just like a fire, just like a lamp. If there's no wick, if there's no oil, so the fire died out. The fire extinguished. Just like that, the wise people, just like the Arahant and the Buddha, they extinguish all type of fires. That's the definition of Nibbāna. So here, Jataka commentary mentioned that Bodhisattva, and he think that if there's no fire of lust, if there's no fire of hatred, delusion, and the heat of defilements, then one will feel blissful and peaceful and cool feeling. Using the word Nibbūta. Nibbūta explains definition of Nibbāna in positive way. And Prince Siddhartha said, think that this lady make me hear something that I really should know. He should know. Nibbūta. I am living, seeking after Nibbāna. Prince Siddhartha always living, seeking after Nibbāna. He went with the Nibbāna, looking for a chance. Even today, he is thinking to leave all his belongings, to seek after Nibbāna. Even as of today, renouncing the household life, I should go forth in order to search for Nibbāna. Now he decided to leave palace and family to seek after Nibbāna. Then let this be teacher's field. So taking off his part necklace from his neck, which is what? 100,000. Maybe Singapore dollar. He sent it to Kisa Gautami. He just gave a present, She is overjoyed with the thought that Prince Siddhartha has sent me this present. With the love, inclined toward me. It's a very beautiful scene. Actually, we have one book in Burmese, The Diary of Venerable Ananda. So written in Burmese, very beautiful. Actually, in Burmese, is the most beautiful and the most reliable book that talk about the life of the Buddha. Actually, I got the idea from that book. So actually, the author is very, insightful. Actually, he's very expert in, he collect all the information from Pali Canon as well as commentary. And he wrote about the life of the Buddha. Imagine that Venerable Ananda wrote his diary. It talk about the life of the Buddha. It talk about the life of eminent disciples of the Buddha and nuns. Very beautiful. So in that book, the author said that when Prince Siddhartha hear the word Nibbāna, Nibbāna, and he was very happy that, he got an idea to leave palace and family tonight. And also he's very happy to hear the word Nibbāna. Nibbāna. We call it Nibbāna. So Nibbāna is another name for Nibbāna. Nibbāna is playing the experience, the bliss after one attain Nibbāna. Cool. Pali itself is very, when we hear the word Nibbāna, we experience cool feeling, cool feeling. It's very beautiful. But here, Kissagodami, actually this Kissagodami is another one. We have another Kissagodami. She, when her son died, she's looking for a medicine approach to the Buddha. There's another Kissagodami. This one, according to commentary of Dhammapara commentary, is the daughter of Siddhartha Anke. So now, actually, earlier she think that Prince Siddhartha is not happy. He feel, gloom, all the time, deeply thinking something. She think that she's fed up with Prince Resodata. So now she got a very expensive pearl necklace. Then she think that she's very happy that. So Prince Siddhartha fall in love with me. Okay, so here, what I want to say is Professor Oliver Abhinayake said that. So the Buddha used Nibbāna, and he used the word Nibbāna, not borrowed from previous texts, pre-Buddhist texts, just like a Veda and Upanishad. He himself, invented the word Nibbāna, or choose the word Nibbāna. Of course, the word Nibbāna is a daily usage, but he choose, when he talk about final experience of Nibbāna, he used the word Nibbāna. Actually, maybe we can think that the Buddha got idea from this Pali poem. Nibbūta nuna samatha, Nibbūta nuna sobita. Actually, the word Nibbūta is mentioned in three places. Nibbūta is a cool and blissful feeling after some attain enlightenment, because all the fire, all the heat of defilements are extinguished. Because of that, in their mind, in the minds of enlightened person, very cool. So all the time serene and calm. So for that reason, when we make Buddha images, you can see that calm and serene nature of, the face is very calm and serene. because he experienced Nibbāna. Right? Nibbāna. Any question up to here? Okay.
Hi Bhante, can I ask, maybe I didn't hear clearly, yeah? Just want to clarify, what does Nibbāna means?
Nibbāna, yeah.
Is it the same words compared to
Actually,
Nibbāna?
Pata is the what? The what? Nibbāna.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Because it's very important terms, I think. So, Prince Siddhartha, here the what Nibbāna. So, the commentary used the what Nibbāna Pata. The author of, the Burmese book, as that I said, he gave the name. Actually, he cannot compose a poem in Burmese, so he requests to the poet, one of the poet, and let him compose a poem in Burmese, and he give the name Nibbāna Pata. So this is from commentaries. The word Nibbāna is very important for, I think, for the Buddhist. Because of that, the Buddha used the word Nibbāna, which is another synonym of Nibbāna. Okay, let's continue. Nibbāna in Bhagavad-gītā. As you all know that Bhagavad-gītā from Hinduism. As we earlier said that this is a written down at the 4th century BC. This is one of the Hindu texts, a very famous one. Bhagavad-gītā used the word Brahma Nibbāna to refer to the kingdom, spiritual kingdom of God. So actually, I use translation from Bhagavad-gītā. Literal translation, it's not my own translation. So they translate Brahma Nibbāna as the spiritual kingdom of God, or spiritual kingdom of Brahma. As you all know that, the Brahma is the God in their religion. Bhagavad-gītā, chapter 2, verses number 72. In the world, it is in other words, it is union of individual soul, according to them, Atman. The union of individual soul with the super soul, Paramatman. It is the highest spiritual attainment in Hinduism. So according to Hinduism, each individual has soul. So by beautifying soul, by doing good deed, so they'll be able to unite. Their soul will be able to unite with the super soul. In other words, we call it, they will go to the spiritual kingdom of God. For that reason, they also do good things. They also practice loving kindness, compassion. They also practice meditation, which is different. So the most distinctions between Buddhism and other religions. So Buddhism teaches anatta, no soul. There's no soul. Here, soul means a permanent entity. So the Buddha said that there's no permanent entity. Everything arises and passes away. A nature. There's no soul. But here, so they believe that each individual has its soul. So by doing good deed, finally, at the end of the day, they will reunite. Their soul will be reunite with the super soul. But super soul means Brahma. So actually what I want to say is comments from Bhagavad-gītā actually the book Bhagavad-gītā as it is. It is a book written by, translated by a very well-known Hindu Swami. So I got this book from Mangala Vihara, free free store, in the stand, free distribution stand. So I'm really this is a very famous one that I bought it. Then I look at in the index and I find the word Nibbāna. So when I see this one, in chapter 2, verse number 72. Of course, we have a lot of similarities in Hinduism and Buddhism, but here, regarding with the soul theory, totally different, no? The main difference between Hinduism and Buddhism is, so we don't believe and we don't accept there is a soul, but they believe there is a soul. So comment from Bhagavad-gītā as it is. Nirvana means ending the process of materialistic life. This is a materialistic life. Nibbāna means, according to them, ending the process of materialistic life. Actually, a little bit similar. According to Buddhist philosophy, there is only void. There's only empty after completing of this material life. But Bhagavad-gītā teaches differently. Actual life begins after the completing of this material life. So according to Hinduism, if you die in this life, after you have done a lot of good deeds, your soul will reunite with the super soul or Brahma or God. So in this way, after ending this materialistic life, you will experience the bliss in the kingdom of God. But they said that according to Buddhist philosophy, there is only void after completing this material life. So actually it's talking about the definition of Nibbāna. For the gross materialist, it is sufficient to know that one has to end this materialistic way of life. As a materialist, there's no afterlife. If you die, that's all. So very beautiful and very easy to understand. But for persons who are spiritually advanced, so there's another life after this materialistic life. So as I earlier said that they are doing good deed because they want to reunite with the super soul, or they want to stay in the kingdom of God to experience the bliss. So what they call it Nibbāna. But of course it is similar, but we have a different, different way of interpreting. So according to them, after you attain Nibbāna, then you die. Then after you die, you will experience eternal bliss in the kingdom of God. That's according to Hinduism. And many Buddhists also believe the same thing. They always say that they have a misunderstanding regarding with the Nibbāna. So actually, this is what the Buddha taught, not what the Buddha thought. So Mr. Gombrich, he has a great affinity or great impression to this book. So he went to give the name what the Buddha taught. But actually, the name is already taken. Because of that, he chose another name, what the Buddha taught. But here, what the Buddha taught by Opola Rahula, a famous Buddhist scholar from Sri Lanka, that in his book, so this book is very famous. For those who haven't read, trying to read this one. You can Google online, and also if you are lucky, you can get from free distribution book stand. If you're lucky, you can get it. Then you can borrow from the libraries. We have 2 or 3 copies. You can read it. So Nibbāna is misunderstood in Buddhism. Even the Buddhists themselves. Some popular and accurately praised expression like the Buddha entered into Nibbāna or pre-Nibbāna after his death. Enter, So such a phrase has given rise to many imaginary speculations about Nibbāna. When you use the word enter Nibbāna and go to Nibbāna, so that means type of existence. You cannot go to Nibbāna. You cannot enter Nibbāna. Nibbāna is when there is no fire of lust, hatred, and delusion. You will experience the bliss of Nibbāna in this very life, not after life. That's very important. This concept is very important. For that reason, among the Buddhists, especially some monks, they use the word enter the Nibbāna and go to Nibbāna. By virtue of this dana, by virtue of this sila and bhavana, may you go to, may you be able to go to Nibbāna. Or maybe able to enter Nibbāna like this. They make a wish, make a wish. Such expression, such expression will lead to misunderstanding. Actually, to explain what is Nibbāna is very difficult, because we are full of fire in our mind. It's very difficult to understand. So anyway, now we are talking about a definition of Nibbāna. What is Nibbāna is? It may stay very complicated right now, but don't worry. As I said that, I will conclude at the end of my lessons, so that you will have takeaway lessons. It will be easier for you to understand. The moment you hear the phrase that the Buddha entered into Nibbāna or pre-Nibbāna, you take Nibbāna to be a state or a realm or a possession in which there is some sort of existence. And try to imagine it in terms of the sense of the word existence, as it is known to you. Many Buddhists, they think that Nibbāna exists somewhere, especially in the sky. By doing good deed, they can go to there. Okay, question. Can I finish this one? Maybe you take a microphone. Let me finish this one. This popular expression, enter into Nibbāna, has no equivalent in the original text. So there is no such a thing as entering into Nibbāna after death. There is a word, pre-Nibbūta, used to denote the death of the Buddha and Arahant who has realized Nibbāna, but it does not mean entering into Nibbāna or going to Nibbāna. It does not mean. Pre-Nibbūta simply means fully passes away. fully blown out or fully extinct and fully extinguished, or the fire. Because the Buddha and Arahant has no re-existence after his death. After his death, there's no existence at all. So they don't have a fire. All the fire is extinguished. Especially they don't have craving and clinging. Because of that, no existence. No existence. If we have a craving and clinging, then we will have a existence. Our consciousness will establish a new life. But here, so the Buddha and Arahant, they extinguish all type of fire, especially craving and clinging. They don't have a craving and clinging. Because of that, they are less consciousness. What we call it Chuticcheda. That consciousness cannot establish anywhere. Because of clinging one, do, good and bad deed. Sankhara. No sankhara. Sankhara or karma is just like a crown. Consciousness do not have any crown to groom. Then consciousness cannot establish anywhere. So that will be final cessation of Nibbāna. Okay, question?
Yeah, Bhante. My question is, just now I hear like the Nibbāna is expressed as a state of bliss and cool, but isn't it bliss and cool is also a state of existence?
Oh, okay. Actually, we sometimes when we hear something, we feel very happy, right? Can you say where is happiness? Where happiness is? Just Nibbāna is just like happiness, I think. You cannot indicate happiness as a type of existence, a type of realm, Nibbāna, actually Nibbāna is a lack of any fire. There's no fire or less hatred and delusion. Because of that, you experience bliss of Nibbāna. The bliss of Nibbāna. Actually, Nibbāna is not a mind. You experience the bliss of Nibbāna with the mind. For that reason, when somebody died, when Arahant and the Buddha died, all extinguished, including the mind. We cannot say that the bliss of Nibbāna is existence, not existence. Okay?
So the state of Nibbāna is only achieved by Arahant.
Oh,
How
no.
is it related
Yeah.
to the state of the progress like Sotapanna, Sakadagami and all this?
Okay, good question. The bliss of Nibbāna can be achieved by even, actually according to some Sutta, even normal person can be experienced the bliss of Nibbāna. Of course, it's not, the bliss of Nibbāna is not real one. As I earlier said that. If there's no fire, temporary Nibbāna. Yeah, temporary Nibbāna. It's not, of course, it is not a real Nibbāna. The real Nibbāna can be experienced by Sotapanna and 8 Ariya Pogala. 8 individuals. Sotapanna, the one who is going to Sotapanna, become Sotapanna, like this. But of course, the Nibbāna attained by Arahant and the Buddha and Vichika Buddha, there is a perfect 100%. Question?
Bhante, can I ask, is contentment Nibbāna?
Sorry?
Contentment.
Oh,
Contentment. So can I say
contentment.
that
Actually, yeah. We have a, for contentment, we have a Pali name, Santoti. Actually, Santoti is not in Nibbāna. Santoti is not in Nibbāna. Santoti, contentment. When you have a contentment, of course you will, as I earlier said, that you will have a temporary Nibbāna. As you don't have many fire or greed, then you have a contentment. So by that time you will experience temporary Nibbāna. The more, if you have less greed, then temporary Nibbāna. Okay. Then this one is taught by Bhikkhu Bodhi. Actually, I have already sent out an article. Actually, this is from Sutta Nikaya, General Introduction. And in that article, he said that in popular words on Buddhism, Nibbāna, plain and simple, is often taken to signify Nibbāna as experience in life. When we talk about Nibbāna, it talk about Nibbāna experience while you are living. Pre-Nibbāna, Nibbāna attained at death. When we talk about pre-Nibbāna, that means Nibbāna when one attained at death. This is also misinterpretation. So sometimes we have the word Nibbāna, sometimes the word pre-Nibbāna. They are the same. Actually, I have already sent out two suttas with the name Nibbāna and pre-Nibbāna. They are the same, no different. But of course, in Maha Pre-Nibbāna Sutta, so it recorded the last day of the Buddha, how the Buddha passes away. So the name of the sutta is Maha Pre-Nibbāna. So looking at that, the name of that sutta, we Buddhists trying to conclude that Pre-Nibbāna means the Nibbāna when we attain, when we die. It's not, of course, it's partially correct, not 100% correct. Actually, in the suttas, Nibbāyati, Pre-Nibbāyati, so they are used similarly. When somebody became Arahant, or when somebody became Arahant, especially in the verses in the Pali poem, Nibbāyati, Pre-Nibbāyati. So these two terms are used interchangeably. So they are the same. Okay, so here what I want to say is, we have even Buddhists, among the Buddhists, we have a misunderstanding about Nibbāna. We think that Nibbāna is somewhere to go. We can go to Nibbāna, we can enter into Nibbāna. If we are thinking in such a way, that is a wrong view. That is a very wrong view. Then I will show three suttas. The destiny of the enlightened ones, especially for Arahant and the Buddha, in Akivacha Kuta Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 72, explain the destiny of enlightened ones with the simile of extinguished fire. So in that sutta, Akivacha Brahmin asked the question to the Buddha, if Arahant and the Buddha died, where they will go? They will go to heaven, or they will come back to human realm like this. So the Buddha taught to him, it is not fit question. He taught using a fire simile. if someone were to ask you, Ucha is his name. If someone were to ask you, Ucha, when that fire before you, at that time, there's a fire in front of him. When that fire before you was extinguished, to which direction did it go? To the east, to the west, to the north, or to the south? If fire extinguished, where the fire go? Being asked this, what will you answer? So the Buddha re-questioned to Ucha. That does not apply, Master Gautama. It's not a good question. Shouldn't ask in such a way. It's not fit. It's not a fit. The fire burned independent on its fuel or grass and sticks. When that is used, when all the grass and sticks were used, if does not get any more fuel, being without fuel, it is reckoned as extinguished. That's very important. The fire do not go anywhere. It just extinguish. You cannot go somewhere. Actually, you got, I think it's a very easy one. So too, Ucha, that the Tathagata has abandoned that material form, that feeling, that perception, that mental formation, that consciousness. Altogether, 5 aggregates. If the Tathagata has abandoned that 5 aggregate by which one described the Tathagata might describe him. Actually, we are compound of 5 aggregate. So 5 aggregate, we call it beings, beings. He has carried off all the root and made it like a palm stamp, done away with this, so that it is no longer subject to future arising. So that means no craving, no clinging. Because of that, no more existence. So what I want to say is, if there's no fuel, fire is extinguished. We cannot say fire go somewhere. We cannot go. Just like that, so we call a being with a 5 aggregate that if we don't have any craving and clinging, then we don't have any existence, new existence. If there is no existence, there'll be no khanda, no body, no mind, right? You already cut off the root, clinging and craving. So you cannot say Arahant and the Buddha went to somewhere. It is extinguished. Arahant and the Buddha extinguished when they died, when the moment they died, because there will be no new existence. They will not go anywhere, just like a fire. Actually, I think it is important. Now we are learning a very advanced teachings. Don't forget that we are learning advanced teachings. For that reason, I always use the original terms like a dukkha as a suffering. Many people don't want to use the word dukkha as a suffering because they're afraid. And also, one of the scholars said that the definition of Nibbāna is extinguishment or extinction or cessation. Commentators, they don't like the word cessation or extinction. So because of that, using other way, they try to avoid the word cessation. I think that is very important. So when we are learning advanced teachings, we have to use the original message of the Buddha. The Buddha is not afraid to use the word dukkha, suffering. He openly tells the public, Of course, people do not like suffering. People are afraid of the word cessation or extinction. When you die, no more. We afraid, because we have a lot of craving and clinging to our existence. We want existence. Even we die this life, we still want another existence. You still want to come back to Singapore. So that is because of clinging, right? Clinging. Actually, here, the word Nibbāna, extinction or extinguishment of all fire, including your body and mind. We shouldn't afraid. But of course, as we still have a lot of fire in our mind, a lot of craving in our mind, we still doesn't want to attain Nibbāna. But the moment you practice meditations, and you will have a very powerful concentrations. So when you have a very powerful concentrations, you will know as it is how the mind arises and passes away, how the physical phenomena arises and passes away. So when you know the real nature of your mind and your body, all mental and physical phenomena, you don't have any craving, no attachment. That's called viraga, dispassion. So when you have a dispassion, you no longer want anything. Then you keep on practice, then you will see your mind will be, if there's no attachment, no clinging, you will have a liberation of the mind. Your mind is liberated from taints or negative mental state. No attachment, no clinging to anything. So that's called liberation. So the moment you attain liberation, you will experience the bliss of Nibbāna. Cool, all the time. So actually, normally we are afraid to use the word suffering, the word, cessation, I think for that reason, the Buddha used in the Four Noble Truths, the Buddha used beautiful term, dukkha nirodha, cessation of suffering. But of course, if we hear the word cessation of suffering, we like it because the word cessation of suffering actually, suffering cease. So actually, that is another name for Nibbāna, another name for Nibbāna. But when we say distraction or craving, actually we don't like it. Because we have a lot of craving, We crave for many things. Because of that, we don't like the word craving for distraction or craving. So for that reason, the Buddha used many terms when he explained Nibbāna based on individual's disposition, individual's mind. Some people don't want to hear the word craving. For them, the Buddha may use the word cessation of suffering. They like it. They listen, then they understand later. Then another one, in the Digha Nikaya, Brahmajala Sutta, the first sutta from Digha Nikaya. So in that sutta, the Buddha said that just as bhikkhus, when the stalk of a bunch of mangoes have been cut, all the mangoes connected to the stalk follow along with this. Actually, all the mango connected with the stalk. If we cut the stalk, all the mango will be cut off. In the same way, the body of the Tathagata is the Buddha, stand with the lash that bound it to existence, cat. As long as his body stands, gods and man shall see him. As long as his body stands. But with the breakup of the body and exhaustion of the life faculty, Jivitaniriya, gods and man shall see him no more. You cannot see the Buddha in the heaven. You cannot see the Buddha in India. Some people say that they see the Buddha. When they meditate, that is just imagination. The Buddha already extinguished. There's no more. Just like a fire, when there's no fuels, fire extinguished. You cannot say fire goes somewhere, some directions. Just like that, the Buddha died because he doesn't have any fuel. Clinging, craving, because of that, no existence. So as long as he stands, gods and man shall see him. When he dies, cannot see. People have a misconception that the Buddha is living in heaven, right? Pure land. According to this Sutta, it's not correct. Another one, this is the death of Arahant in the Gaudiya Sutta, Sutta Nikaya. So when the Buddha talk about the death of Arahant, he used this one, however bhikkhus, with the consciousness and establish. The cleansman Gaudiya has attained final Nibbāna. But here, Nibbāna, final Nibbāna, extinguished. Then, apatitena vijñānena, consciousness, that consciousness or Arahant were not established anywhere. Because in that Sutta, Mara, an evil one, is looking for consciousness of Arahant Gaudiya Thera. And the Buddha said that, no, his consciousness were not established, will not go anywhere. Just like a fire. No fuel, fire extinguished. We cannot say fire goes somewhere. Just like that, there's no clinging and craving for Arahant Gaudiya Thera. For that reason, his final consciousness, the less consciousness or that consciousness were not established anywhere. So as a normal person, as we have craving and clinging, then we create a karma. So that karma is the ground where our death consciousness can plant it. That is the difference between Arahant and normal person. Any question? Okay.
Thanks, Bhante. Just now the question about the fire phenomenon. Okay, when the fire is extinguished because there's no fuel, which is also the condition for the fire to exist as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we say that fire is extinguished, that is Nibbāna. Nibbāna, right?
That is just a simile.
Yeah, I know. By using the simile, can I say Nirvana is also an unconditional phenomena, because that means it doesn't depend on anything to exist. And then when the clinging and craving is no longer the condition, that is also where Nirvana is possible as well. And that's also the state of unconditioned bliss.
Yeah.
If I use the same simile of fuel and also the fire.
Yeah, you can say so, unconditioned. Unconditioned by sankhara.
Yeah, by sankhara.
Yeah, because you don't have a craving and clinging.
Correct.
Because of that, no karma.
Correct.
Normally, karma or sankhara condition
Yes.
our existence,
Yes.
our jati, our death, etc.
Yeah.
But you-
So
yeah, we can
Nibbāna
say
is like a phenomenon, just like any existence is a phenomenon, but it's just that this is an unconditioned phenomenon, not depending on anything or any state of mind as well. Because human being, even our existence is depending on condition as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right, you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we were study in details using some important suttas, a further and deeper definition of Nibbāna, just like a asankata, unconditioned wine. And today we will use one sutta that talk about a very important concept about Nibbāna. This is a very deep one. Two Nibbāna elements. So there are two types of Nibbāna. Nibbāna Dhatu Sutta. Actually, in this today I sent this sutta in the chat group because I didn't. For those who didn't read, it's okay. just for those who are studying the sutta seriously, trying to print out, trying to read. I think I just teach only a few, I couldn't cover all the suttas, teaching all the suttas. Because if I use the whole sutta, it will take very long, Also, it will be very boring. I think earlier when I teach bhavana, meditation, I took 4 years. So now only take 1 year. I'm supposed to take only 1 year, but may not be enough. Maybe I will take another half a year. Maybe next year I'm there in June or July. I think we'll be able to finish. And we invite feedback for the Sutta study class. This class, one of the students give a feedback. Maybe we are going very quick. Need to slow down. Okay, so I was trying to slow down because my thinking is I want you to read the suttas and give a lot of homework. And you need to do your homework. Then only you will able to understand the subject clearly. Okay, so two type of Nibbāna. Nibbāna Dhatu, the Buddha said that there are amongst these two Nibbāna elements, but here element Dhatu. What are the two? Number one, Nibbāna element with the residue remaining. Sa uparisesa Nibbāna Dhatu. Nibbāna element with the residue remaining. Another way, the Nibbāna element without residue remaining. With the residue, without residue. Am I correct? Residue, right? Residue. Two types of Nibbāna. I think it's very important to understand this sutta, to understand our misunderstanding about Nibbāna. And what means if the Nibbāna element with the residue remaining? Here, Uparimi, the commentary said that residue is nothing but 5 aggregates, which are subject to clinging. So we have a five aggregate of clinging. Upadana khanda in Pali. But here residue is 5 aggregate. Here it means is an Arahant. One whose taints are destroyed and who has lived the holy life, done what have to be done, and laid down the burden, reach his own goal. So when somebody became Arahant, Pali Gana mention the same thing, the same phrase, the same says. Done what have to be done, laid down the burden. You know, we are carrying a heavy burden. You know? The more you carry a heavy burden, the more you feel tired. If you can drop burden, feel light. For that reason, we always use letting go, letting go. No? When you see something, don't take it, don't cling with the craving and clinging. Letting go, practice letting go. When you hear, same thing. Utterly destroying the factors of existence. When completely liberated through final knowledge. Talk about Arahant. However, his 5 sense faculties, just like eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, remain unimpaired, by which he still experiences what is agreeable and disagreeable, still feel pleasure and pain. Actually, when even the Buddha and even great disciples of the Buddha, they still experience agreeable and disagreeable. They still experience pleasure and pain. When they eat a good food, pleasure. When they eat a bad food, pain. And when they expose hot weather, painful feeling, Vedana. And pleasant weather, pleasure. It is the destruction of lust, hatred, and delusion in him that is called the Nibbāna element with the residue remaining. Still have 5 aggregates. For that reason, he still feel pleasant and unpleasant experiences. But he doesn't have any final lust, hatred, and delusion. For that reason, no mental suffering. No mental suffering. You still remember that in the Vedana Samyoga? So the difference between normal person and enlightened one. Normal person feel mental and physical painful feeling. But Arahant, enlightened people, they experience only physical painful feeling, not mental one. In the commentaries, such Nibbāna is called extinction or defilements. Kilesa, Nibbāna. So all the kilesa, all the defilements extinguish. For the Buddha, under the Bodhi tree, at the age of 35, he extinguished all the fire extinguished at the age of 35. So that is called extinction of defilement, cessation of defilements. Cessation of defilements. If all the defilements are extinguished, you will achieve cessation of suffering, no more suffering. But of course, physical suffering will be there, no more mental suffering. So here, according to this, Nibbāna element with the residue remaining, that means you still have a 5 aggregate, you still have a khandha, but for that reason you experience pleasant and unpleasant experiences, sensation. But when you experience pleasant or unpleasant neutral, you don't have any type of fire. Fire out last, find out hatred and delusion. That's Nibbāna. That's Nibbāna. That's called Kilesa Nibbāna, extinction of all defilements. And next one, and what means is the Nibbāna element without residue remaining. Actually, please pay attention to this one. That's very important. So even many scholars make a wrong interpretation regarding with this second type of Nibbāna element. Even the commentators, they make wrong interpretation, this one. And what means is the Nibbāna element without residue remaining. Without residue, without fine aggregate. Here, a man is an Arahant, one whose taints are destroyed, who has lived the holy life, done what had to be done, and laid down the burden, reached his own goal, utterly destroying the fatal existence, one completely liberated through final knowledge. For him, here, in this very light, very important here, in this very life, all that is fat, not being delighted in, wherever feeling, no delight, or no craving, no clinging, where become cool right here, where become cool right here. When I say cool, how you will feel? Very good feeling, right? Very good feeling. That is how the Arahant monks and nuns, the utter, in the Tidakara and Tirikata. So when you read those verses, you will experience their feeling. It's cool, no? Where become cool right here, in this very life, Ideva sapa viritani anapinanditani siti bhavayasati. Here, siti bhavayasati. Siti is another name for Nibbāna. Siti, cool feeling. It's similar to Nibbūda. The moment one extinguish all type of fire in his mind, feel the bliss of coolness. Cool. There's no hot feeling in their mind. The moment you see your mind very hot, I'm trying to remember this one, Siti. Siti is another name for Nibbāna. Siti Buddha. Sometimes Siti Buddha is the person who have the bliss of Nibbāna. Siti Buddha. And Nibbūda, the same thing. The Buddha said that means it's called the Nibbāna element without residue remaining. The explanation about the Nibbāna element without residue remaining in this sutta is identical with the explanation from the sutta Sutta Nikāya, Vedana Sanyota, Kilinya Sutta, mentioned below. Actually, we have already learned this sutta. I will repeat it because that's very important. So this sutta talk about second type of Nibbāna bliss. Nibbāna in this very life. Nibbāna, you can experience Nibbāna in this very life. Just as bhikkhus and a wine lamp burns independent on the wine and the wick. When the exhaustion of the wine and the wick, it is extinguished, Nibbāyati, through lack of fuel. No fuel, the fire is extinguished. So too, bhikkhus, when a bhikkhu feels a feeling terminating with the body, He understands. Understand, there's a wisdom. I feel a feeling terminating with the body. As we have a body, we will experience pleasant feeling and unpleasant feeling. When you experience pleasant sensation, you just understand and you just know that pleasant sensation. When you experience unpleasant sensation with your eye, with your ear, etc., you just understand, you just know that unpleasant feeling. Knowing unpleasant feeling as the unpleasant feeling, that is wisdom. Very, very, important one. So in this way, you terminate your feeling with the body, no longer attached to your feeling. When he feels a feeling terminating with the life, now life here is the last moment of a passing life. He understands and feel a feeling terminating with the life. Some people became Arahant even before they die in this life, even before their consciousness established somewhere. Very powerful, So you're trying to terminate your feeling in this life. In this life. So the moment you are going to die, when you experience unpleasant feeling, you understand unpleasant feeling as the unpleasant feeling. No anger, nothing. Just understand. Just be mindful and clearly comprehend. Unpleasant feeling as the unpleasant feeling. When you experience pleasant feeling before you die, unpleasant feeling and pleasant feeling as the unpleasant feeling. Pleasant feeling. That's wisdom. It's very important. So when you have a mindfulness and wisdom at that moment, you'll be able to terminate your feeling with this life. So you are that consciousness will not establish anywhere. That will be final Nibbāna. Then the Buddha said that he understands with the breakup of the body, dying, following the exhaustion of life, all that is fat, all type of feeling, not being delighted in, no craving, no clinging, will become cool right here. Cool right here. You will attain final Nibbāna at that moment. Cool right here. Not after death. Not after death. Iteva here. Iteva in this very life. Right here. Right here. So if we carefully study Nibbāna Dhatu Sutta, Idiodaka Sutta number 44, and Gilenya Sutta, Sutta Nikaya, chapter 35, Sutta number 7, the Nibbāna element without residue remaining is total destruction of five aggregates without remaining at the time of death. At the time of death. At the last moment of Arahant and the Buddha. That's a non-returner. They still have clinging to what? Existence. For that reason, because of that clinging, their consciousness in this light were established in the Brahma realm. So that is only for Arahant. There's two types of Nibbāna. So such Nibbāna, second Nibbāna, is called the extinction of aggregates, Khanda Prinibbāna in the commentaries. So sorry that I couldn't provide the Pali Text Society page. Maybe next time. So in the commentaries, it's called extinction of aggregates. Because at that moment, all aggregate extinguish, just like a fire. So after death, no more existence, no more aggregate. So actually the commentary mentioned 3 types of Nibbāna: Kilesa Nibbāna, extinguishing of all defilements. So they usually use example of the Buddha. The Buddha extinguished all types of defilements under the Bodhi tree at the age of 35. And the Buddha attained, the Buddha achieved, not Buddha enter, not Buddha go. The Buddha achieved Khandha Nibbāna, extinction of all aggregates at the age of 80 under the Sala tree. Sal tree, right? Sal tree. Another one is the extinguishing of the Dhatu relics. Dhatu Nibbāna relics. So right now, all the relics were scattered around the world. So there will be the time that teachings of the Buddha disappear from the world. Then all the people will not venerate to the relics of the Buddha. So all the relics will be gathered in the Bodhi tree in India. And it will extinguish with the fire. That will be Dhatu Nibbāna, extinguishment of all relics. So that is called Dhatu Nibbāna. So here we have 2 Nibbāna elements. The first one, Kilesa Nibbāna, all the defilements extinguish. Second one, aggregate extinguish, Khandha Nibbāna. So for that reason, second one is very important. Only in this life, in this very life, right here, not after death. I think that is very, very important for the Buddhist. Normally we have a lot of craving and clinging, another existence. By virtue of this dana, may I be born a good existence. Normally we make a wish, right? Make a wish. So you will go wrong samsara. For that, even this one, misinterpretation about Nibbāna, there are some misinterpretation about second type of Nibbāna element. Nibbāna bliss attained by the Arahant after their death. That is misinterpretation. It is misunderstood. After Arahant died, there is no more Nibbāna for him. Right? All the aggregate extinguished. Because there is one famous scholar from the West, and he proposed, let me go up to 30, right? Because we are a little bit late. One scholar have an opinion that when Arahant and the Buddha died, consciousness or vijnana extinguished. But there is another mental state called chaita. The mind still remain. So that mind, that chaita experience the bliss of Nibbāna. Buddhist scholar, Of course, he proposed a lot of citations. So he made final conclusion that vijnana is extinguished, but chaita, the mind still exists. So that mind experience the bliss of Nibbāna. That's also one of the misinterpretation. We can call it number 1, Nibbāna bliss attained by Arahant after their death. Especially Theravada, even conservative Theravada, they believe that Nibbāna element after Arahant died. There's also misinterpretation if we look at the Sutta, right? But I have quoted 2 Sutta. Then number 2, Nibbāna bliss that can be experienced during the Nidora Samapatti, attainment of cessation of consciousness. That's also one of my professor, and he teach me that Nibbāna element without residue. That means the moment when attain Nirodha Samapatti. So when one experience, when one attainment of cessation of all feeling and all perception. So by that moment, there's no mind. Mind is not walking. Only physical body remains still. No feeling, no perception, no thinking, no mind. Just physical body remain. And if there's no mind, it's very blissful. So in the next Soda, you will learn, one of the monks said that, Venerable Sariputta said that, Nibbāna is happy, blissful. How happy Nibbāna is. Then another monk called Udai, and he said that, Bhante, you always said that in Nibbāna there's no feeling. If there's no feeling, how can you experience happiness? Then Venerable Sariputta said that you don't have a feeling. Without feeling itself is happiness. Because we cannot imagine, we cannot think based on our experience. What we understand about happiness and bliss is based on feeling, based on sensation. So I think we attain Nibbāna, we experience Nibbāna, so we will realize what Nibbāna really is. So what I tell you is just a theory. Okay, one question? Okay. One short question, please.
Based on what you just said, is that why you said that Nibbāna is not a state of mind? Based on what you just said.
Yeah. Nibbāna is not a state of mind, but the Buddha used the word ayatana, or the object that we can experience with the mind. Not with the not normal mind, the mind purified by defilements. The mind without defilements, we can experience the bliss of Nibbāna. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu Sakyamuni Bhagavad-gītā kecho Parakato Bala Viriya Samangi Dansukatam Saranathamupemi Raga viraga maninjama sokan Dhamma masangata mapatikulan Marurami mambakuna suvipadan Dhamma mimam saranathamupemi Yata chadena mahapalamahu Chatusu susisu purisayugesu Atacha Bogalam Dasate Sangame Mansara Natamopemi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night, everyone.